Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it's time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And in terms of reality shows, one of those shows that we're doing is Below Deck Med, which is coming to an end soon, but I think this is the last 3 episodes, so I'm very excited to see the reunion, but we'll get to that in a second. FYI, today was day 3 of pole dancing class. And I got my first pole, well, not my first, I've had them quite a bit, but my first in 5 years, pole hickeys. Can you see right there? There's one right there. And there's a whole bunch on this side, yeah. So those are bruises, but we don't call them bruises. We call them pole hickeys. So I got quite a few of them today, but that's good. That means that soon your body will get used to it and you won't have them anymore. So anyways. Anyway, I'm proud of them actually. You're not going to be able to see them, although I am a little bit nervous because I'm going to a General Hospital event this weekend. So and it's going to be hot as balls. So I'm a little bit nervous that they're going to be like, oh, that poor boy. He's just actually they'll be like, oh, that poor little girl. She's always she must be in some abusive relationship. No. Anyways, okay, so let's talk about Below Deck. Okay, so this was kind of interesting this week. So this week we saw, well, first of all, I hate, and I'm gonna skip to the very end of the episode. The very end, the very last bit of the episode was Adam going up to Wes and showing him the text messages that Malia sent, that little hussy. Well, really, like, who cares? At this point, they've got one. I mean, this is the last charter that they're on. Who gives a shit? It's over. I mean, really. Who cares? I'm kind of over the whole thing already. I'm really over that whole storyline. It's ridiculous. Okay, so here's what I found interesting about Below Deck. Okay, so I have always known that there is a subculture of yacht escorts, of people that go on yachts and they do various forms of sexual favors. Some of them quite a bit, some of them not any. It all depends, right? And they all get to be guests on some rich person's yacht. I guarantee you, though, it's very rare that they have someone on the yacht just because they're pretty, And I will give, okay, so let's go back to Vanderpump Rules. This 2 seasons ago on Vanderpump Rules, Sheena called out Lala because Lala's like, yeah, I'm going, to Milan on a modeling shoot. And she's like, really, girl? She's like, okay, I'm going on a yacht. And she's like, oh, so, do you have to open your legs for them? She's like, no, I don't. She's like, what about your mouth? And she didn't say anything. Snaps to you, Sheena. She called her out. Because she's right. She probably was one of those yacht. Oh my God, am I red? I'm really red. Why? I wasn't out in the... Oh, I was out in the sun today for lunch. Oh my God, I went out to lunch. Let's pause and go back to my host chat. Okay, so today I was at lunch and we walked, a block to lunch. And it took forever to be seated. It took forever to get our orders. It took forever to get my fucking box and to pay. And I had a meeting I had to be at 1. Well, it was a conference call, but still I had to be at it. So luckily I got out of there in time to get onto the conference call on my cell phone. And I'm literally running back to the office in the middle of the heat in Las Vegas in a full-on shirt and tie. I was drenched by the time I got back to my desk. I mean, drenched. It was pretty bad. So that's probably where I got the sunburn, but it'll go away tomorrow. Okay, so back to the yacht culture. Now I know that there are certain gay yacht escorts, but I know that it's mostly a straight subculture, and I really would love to see like some sort of documentary about the yachting subculture with the yachting escorts, because they kind of showed a little bit of it this past episode of Below Deck. It's not as bad as it normally is, right? But they did show all these pretty girls with these 2 old guys. So I'm very curious to see, that was kind of interesting that they first of all, the old guys, they didn't do anything sexual with the girls. But how much of that is because they're on camera, you know? But then again, how maybe they're just girls that he said, "Hey, I'm going to be on Bravo. You want to be on the show?" You know, and they're really reality TV whores as opposed to yacht whores. That's really not good. I shouldn't say whores, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. I mean escorts. You know, I don't mean. But anyways, and I'm sure Hannah, who and probably Bugs too, they've probably seen it all. They really have. Okay, but let's talk about Hannah and Bugs. Okay, so Hannah and Bugs. So Bugs finally was like, I need to tell Hannah how I feel. Here's what I think about that. Girl, really? You got to tell her now, before the very last charter? You got to tell her? You've had all charter season to say something, and you not only could you not say something earlier in the charter season, but you couldn't just shut the fuck up and just take it for the rest of the season and then never take that second stew again. I mean, it's not very conducive to getting along with people that you work with. I'm just saying. So she told Hannah how she felt, and Hannah was like, okay. And she's like, Hannah, do you have anything to say to me? And she's like, I have absolutely nothing to say to you. I loved it. It was pretty fierce. It was great. So anyways, so they kind of had that little blow up and that little falling out, right? And it was a little bit annoying because, you know, in addition to that whole issue with, you know, the whole chief stew, here's what happened. Hannah said, I'm not, you know, when we fell out with each other was when you broke my trust, talking about the messages. But here's the thing about that. Okay, let's say I was in Hannah's shoes. Okay, let's say I was the chief stew, and this other girl was, and Bugsy was the second stew, and she was telling me, I would not say you broke my trust. Girl, I could give a shit, right? You want to break my trust? Break my trust. I don't need to like you. You just need to do your job, and I need to do mine, and you need to shut the fuck up, right? But I would have been like, we fell out when you displayed your lack of professionalism, when you displayed my text messages that I had with the charter guest. Because she was like, oh, that's so unprofessional having the whole thing, was it unprofessional of Hannah? Maybe a little, maybe slightly, right? But is it any more unprofessional than Malia having, you know, relations with half the cast? I don't think so. I really don't. You know, is it any more unprofessional than Bobby hooking up with the charter guest, which is coming up, which is what he was leading up to this week? I don't think so. And it is a little bit of a misogynist double standard that Bravo, not necessarily Bravo, but like that the show, that like, for example, Max on the show, he's like, I won't give you any shit like I gave Hannah. Why is that? Because he's a guy? Really? That's a little fucked up, don't you think? I think it is. I mean, if you're going to give Hannah shit, okay. I don't agree with that, but okay. Then you should give Bobby shit too. But you're not going to give Bobby shit just because he's a boy? Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Sorry. It really doesn't. So, and then there was, and then... So the episode started at the very beginning. I told you I was going backwards. So the episode started with Malia, no, not Malia, with Hannah and Adam quasi hooking up at this club. And then Hannah was going, I feel like I'm getting a pimple right there. It really hurts right there. But there's nothing coming up, but I really feel like I'm going to get a pimple right there. Anyways, so Hannah and Adam were basically hooking up, and they left the boat, leaving everyone to think that they were hooking up, but then they didn't even hook up, and Hannah was fall down drunk, and Adam was like, yeah, I'm really not into that. So, you know, whatever. But then Adam was all weepy about the whole fucking Malia bullshit. It really kills me. But then he just doesn't read the fucking preference sheet. I mean, really? Girl, come on. I mean, it's not as bad as the onions thing. The onions thing was different because the onions thing was, I know you don't want onions, but I'm just going to fucking piss you off by putting onions in your food. That's different. This time he wasn't really like purposefully like trying to fuck shit up, but he was just not paying attention. And they were like, really? So next week is the last week, and we'll see what happens when he shows Wes the text messages. Ooh. And then the final week is the reunion. And there is a reunion. This will be the first reunion for Below Deck Med. Because they didn't have one for Below Deck last season, and they certainly didn't have one for Below Deck Med last season. But this will be really cool. I'm very curious to see how this plays out. So I did submit a couple questions. We'll see if Andy reads them or not. Probably not, but whatever. Anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag Below Deck Med to talk Below Deck Med, or you can hashtag Days to talk Days of Our Lives, because I'm going to be doing that tomorrow, hopefully, if I can watch it all. I've got 5 episodes to watch. I'm sure I probably will at some point. And you can hit that subscribe button on my YouTube page to get my video sent to your inbox every single day. It's getting more natural. I'm getting there. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.